Hey everyone, I'm Clue. Welcome back to some more Flesh and Blood. So we're here with the Emperor again, and I gotta say this is the last time. He is just a horrendous hero, and we'll go over why, but first off, I've made two decks. One, Arcane, it's fine, and one, obviously, the Weapon Style deck that we were playing the other day. I'm probably going to use the Weapon Style deck again, just because he can't do Arcane things well, nor can he really do Weapon swings well. And the reason I gotta say he is hopeless is just the way he is. His statted, his hero ability, and of course his card pool. So he has nothing going for it. There is nothing that he, as a hero, can do that is different from a warrior playing weapons or a wizard playing wizard spells. It's really sad to see. Because I liked his design, I thought it was cool, but his basis is just horrible. His only play red cards gimmick just neuters him to hell. Playing Command and Conquer by dumping 3 cards is just trash. Being able to dump your hand, essentially, for 6 damage is horrible. And I'm partly blamed for this. The first time I read Command and Conquer, I read completely wrong. I read this as your opponent can't react defensively to this card. And of course, I was completely wrong on the jargon. It's referring to defense reaction cards. So your opponent can still dump 1 to 2 cards to negate its damage, because on average, I always see cards have around 3. So they're dumping 2 cards to you dumping 3 cards. So straight away, they're ahead on card economy, they're ahead on HP. There is just nothing good about it. It costs way too much using just red cards. It just does not synergize. The other issue is hero synergy. So, for instance, all of the wizard cards, they synergize internally with wizard cards. There is no application between playing wizard cards and warrior cards in the same deck. If you do that, then when you draw and you want to swing with your weapon, you might have a hand that, is half wizard, half warrior, so you can't pull off your combos as well as Dorinthia or Kano. So in that situation, you might as well just play Dorinthia or Kano and do what those heroes excel at far better than the Emperor. There just is no synergy between cards yet. And that's a decent thing, because I think it's a design space that they need to head into. You see a lot of cards reprinted with slight tweaks, different damages, slightly different abilities, but essentially reskins of previous cards. And this is very good. This is the game micromanaging its card pool and coming up with playable and competitive card bases. And that's good to see. But eventually they're going to run out of this design space, and they need to either come up with new heroes, which I'm completely on board with. I love the idea of every set having a new hero that you're essentially chasing. So for instance, if you want to play the Assassin, you need to open Dynasty. You need cards from Dynasty. If you want to play Prism, you need Monarch, and so on. And that's a really good concept, because it gives a desirability to those sets for anyone who comes to the game and wants to play that hero. They either need to become experienced with that set, regardless of whether they're opening it or buying singles. It's really good. But that allows them to then go into this design space where they could create a wizard card where, instead of it being your next wizard action or non-attack action is instant, it could now be your next hero type ability, if that makes sense. So for instance, you can't just use it with generics, which I think is a good point, because there are a lot of powerful generic combos. Generics are really, really well thought out in this game, at least from what I've seen. There's lots of things that can really just help tool your deck around certain situations. But yeah, if they made wizard cards synergize with your hero, because then they would obviously be able to make, wizard warrior, wizard guardian, all these different combos that then have a card basis that reflects that. And that's just unfortunately the situation. He does not have a card basis large enough or complex enough to make him playable, to make him better than playing Kano or playing Dorinthia. To be honest, there is absolutely no point in going down the warrior route. Starting at a 5 less health basis is just horrible. And of course, the other way they could go around this is if they just tweaked him. So if they came out with a new version of him that didn't have the red requirement, or had a cheaper Command and Conquer, or simply had more intelligence. If he had 5 cards instead of 4, you would now be able to play your ineffective combos, but you'd also have cards to defend with. And that's the big thing. You can't play a defensive turn and then be able to come off with all these massive combos because you just don't have the card basis because of how drawing works in Flesh and Blood, which is fine. Again, I really like that you draw at the end of your turn. It's a good change up to, you know, normal card games, but it just doesn't work with his hand size. The other option would be come up with, I don't know, a crown that was, if your hero is royal, once per turn action, your hero ability costs 1 to 2 less. Go again. And that would be perfect. That would then enable him to use Command and Conquer. Again, it doesn't give Command and Conquer go again, so you would still need cards like Captain's Call or Lead the Charge, if I could find it. I don't think it's in this deck. No. You still need those cards to actually combo from Command and Conquer. But just paying 3 cards, because you're in red, so every card pitches for 1, so paying 3 cards. I don't care if you're somehow cheating it out with Flamescale's Furnace. At best, that allows you to play 1 other card. And that's, in itself, is not great. So being able to do that just for 6 damage, even if he just made Command and Conquer do, I don't know, double damage. It doesn't have to be that extreme, but it could be better. Anyway, that's my 2 cents on him after playing him for this little bit and trying to construct a deck. Again, I do spend a lot more time actually going through cards and thinking how they synergize rather than playing, because I am someone who likes the technical aspect rather than, I don't actually have the skill set to play super competitively. But I think I can look at design space and interpret it pretty well. Anyway, I'm not going to play this deck. This deck is just trash in my opinion because of how he works. You can't really tackle the cost basis or playing enough cards like Kano or anyone. So I don't think Arcane as well. I did get 1 turn KO'd on a defensive match. But the other issue, sorry, just continuing the tangent, with Arcane at the moment is the Null Rune stuff, or any form of defense. Because I didn't realize, at least, I don't know if it's not intended in person, but from what I saw playing, with Null Rune, because I lost to an Arcane Emperor, and then I decided to play Arcane Emperor. And if you have 3 pieces, you only have to pay 1 to negate 3. If you have 2 pieces, you pay 1 to negate 2, and so on. And that is just really, really powerful. I mean, it's needed, granted how arcane damage works, but considering a lot of the cards nowadays, because there's a few cards that are banned that would sort of need to be unbanned given the Null Rune meta. Because a lot of your cards need to hit for their benefit to happen, and if they're negating 3, the basis for a lot of your spells is 3 damage, meaning you run 3 pieces, and all you have to do is pitch one card, and you completely negate your opponent's turn. And that was the only reason I got 1 turned against the Arcane Emperor, was because I didn't have any Null Rune. I'm running these pieces to try and enable his hero ability, which is another issue. We have no room for movement. Like, without Flamescale Furnace, your resource base is just screwed. Without ways to buff Command and Conquer, there's no point in playing it. There's just not enough cards centered around him to really enable him just yet. And I'm hoping we see some stuff in the future. I do have a feeling, though, they're just going to move off it. The Outsider kind of seems like Draconic is done. There'll be a few cards, but there is nothing to really improve it, which is also sad to see, because just giving him a better Draconic basis would be better as well. Being able to play the generic Draconic cards is just trash with him at the moment. He needs something else. He needs some way to utilize Phoenix Flame. But anyway, I'm going to find a game and we'll do a farewell match with a Warrior Emperor build with just Centauri Sabers. For anyone interested, this is the deck list I'll be using. So 2 Centauri Sabers. I got rid of the Quicksilver Dagger. You just can't chain weapon attacks like Dorinthia, or I need to look her up. Cassie. I'm just gonna call it Cassie. The Centauri Sellsword or whatever. But yeah, so we're still running Command and Conquer. Ravenous Rubble is the only other type we're running, and 0 for 4. Nourishing Emptiness kinda is necessary to get that card basis. Ugh. And then just Plunder Run with those 3 cards. So Plunder Run's sort of a dead card, because it doesn't really have much of use. Lead the Charge. I don't think I have Captain's Call anymore. No, so Lead the Charge into our Tome is sort of our only real big combo, just to increase our card basis and hopefully pull off a bigger turn. Yikes. Yay, bravo. Oh, I hate Bravo. Bravo's a horrible matchup. They can beat us down way too hard. Yeah, especially with, well, Dominate's not too much of an issue because we don't like dumping a lot of cards. That said, we don't have the luxury of having high defense cards because A, we're red. Right, what can we do? Plow through, slice and dice, in the swing. We'll probably slice and dice, and then attack. Although, your next weapon attack gains 3, it's defended by attack action. Probably plow through. Plow through, then raise a reflex. We get rid of in the swing. Plow furnace. Dump slice and dice, and we'll attack. And then if they... Well, either way, we're probably just doing raise or reflex, just to try and sink in as much damage as possible. See, we really just have to play aggressively, because it's just, can we beat them down before we get beat down? Formal, nope, that's fine. Specialization, that's fine. They're going to block with more? No, so we might as well just dump our hand since we do get back. A nice 4 damage straight away. And also all our null rune gear is just trash. Because obviously they don't run arcane damage. I guess that's the benefit. Or I should say the downside. So it really only tinkers around playing, someone who can deal arcane, so Kano. I don't think any other can do arcane. Maybe illusionists? I don't know, I haven't seen. Dominates. See, so we take 8 or we can defend. I don't really want to get rid of Command and Conquer. We have Lead the Charge, we have Plunder Run. I'm pretty sure we're just taking 8. We can block with 2 at the very least. But yeah, that's what I mean. We need our cards to actually make a good turn happen. It's like we want to play Plunder Run into Command and Conquer. But even that's our entire hand for what, 6? Good, no buffs to it. Get the 4 cards back. Yikes, yikes, yikes. But then we can do Blade Runner into our hand. Well, so target gain to go again. So this means we can do 5 just off of Blade Runner for 2 versus drawing a card and playing Command and Conquer. I guess it's not horrible. Yeah. Then we can't do anything unless we play Lead the Charge, which means we can't pitch this. I'm just gonna play it for the sake of playing it. It's not a great turn, but whatever. So 6 damage, they can block if they want. Again, it's not enough pressure to make them dump their hand, so they're just going to Blessing of Deliverance. What is it? Gain 1. Okay, no, it's just HP, it's fine. They're blocking for 3. Is that it? Are we actually doing decent damage? Grant, nope, of course. So they're at 16, we're at 9. It is not looking good. We will put Plunder Run first and Lead the Charge. Blade Run into our arsenal, so at least we... man, if I Lead the Charge. We can swing into a decent turn. Sort of, yeah, we can Blade Runner, Sharpen Steel, and Outland Skirmish. That's not too bad. Means we can do a lot of damage, and I can forfeit Command and Conquer. We can get away with 1, can't we? Don't know. Yeah, we can. No, because we also need our Centauri Saber. So probably... Yeah, we can't even block. Yikes. So we're just going to lose to beatdown because they can beat us down better. Okay. So we're playing Outland Skirmish. Or we're just swinging and then trying to bait them and then hit harder with our second weapon. Probably, yeah. Hit with that. We need to pitch. Well, there's no way we can play into either of them, I don't think. We'll just pitch Command and Conquer for 2. See if they do anything. If they don't, we react and we do 5. And then we can swing again. Why couldn't I play the Flamescale Furnace? Alright, because we hadn't played a red card yet. That makes sense. Which is kind of bad. I should have played Sharpen Steel or something first. because now our mana basis is wrong. We can only play one card and then hit. Which isn't too bad. We can play Outland Skirmish. Well, they both give +3, don't they? Yeah, it's just a copper token. Again, I do apologize to... Where do I see your name? I don't, do I? Let's just play 2. Or... I could actually play the Command and Conquer, which is a bit better. So we'll do that. We'll pitch... If only I had another Gogen on our weapon. Then I could swing and play Command and Conquer. Doesn't really matter. Excuse me? Do I not have... Oh, I played one and then... I can undo, can't I? Sorry, I have to mulligan. That was just horrendous on my part. We'll still do the same thing. So this... Pitch that. You can block again. You know I'm going to play Blade Runner, so this is a benefit to you, because you know I'm going to use 5 damage. I didn't realize. I can see them both from here. That's just horrible. Okay, we're just doing the same thing again. It's fine. Well, I suppose at that point I could have done Flamescale Furnace. And now we've gotten 2. Yeah, so that would have been better. Right. Anyway, we'll just attack and play, I don't know, Sharpened Steel. I guess Outland Skirmish is the better card. You gonna react differently? Nope. Alright. We'll play Outland Skirmish. And then we'll swing this time. Roll 8. But we're probably done next turn. Okay, so 10 to 5, so I'm definitely guessing they have a way to clinch this with their Seismic token. So how much can we even block for? I mean, they'll have Dominate, so the best we can block for is 3. And 1, so 4. And I think their cards do like 8 on average. Yikes. Till the next turn, gains Dominate, of course it does. And they have the Seismic Surge, so it costs 1 less. 11. And they discard 2 cards, so... It's going to do 11, we can do 4, which is what? Brings us to 7, so we can't even block perfectly. Like, we do that, and then we still lose. Yikes. You got nothing. You just letting it sink in, I guess. Or are you doing the mental math? GG. Let's see the timer. Oh, better. It was more 50-50 that time around. We're getting there. Anyway, yep. Sorry to say, Emperor sucks. He deserved to die. Yeah.